Hola amigos, ¿cómo estás? Welcome to my channel Hola amigos, me llamo Ekta. So today I am coming with a very different topic and yet another helpful topic for you guys, which is known as Vocabulario de Comida, which is food vocabulary. So I know that I have covered many sessions related to verbs, related to articles, related to pronouns, but it is very important for you guys to learn vocabulary as well in parallel so that you are aware about what things we call out in Spanish. Vale? So vamos a empezar. So the first one is apple. So apple we call it out as manzana. Manzana. The next one is strawberry. Strawberry we call it out as fresa. Fresa. The next one is melon. Melon we call it out as melon. The next one is lemon. Lemon we call it out as limon. Limon. The next one is grapes. Grapes we call it out as uva. Uva. Vale? The next one is cabbage. Cabbage we call it out as col. Col. The next one is cauliflower. Cauliflower we call it out as cauliflower. Cauliflower. The next one is watermelon. We call it out as sandia. Sandia. The next one is Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts. That we call it coles de Bruselas. Next one is onion. Onion we call it out as cebollas. Cebollas. The next one is mushroom. Mushroom we call it out as champiñones. Champiñones. The next one is chicken. Chicken we call it as pollo. Pollo. The next one is turkey. Turkey we call it as pavo. Pavo. The next one is eggs. Eggs we call it out as huevos. Huevos. The next one is milk. Milk we call it out as leche. Leche. The next one is cheese. Cheese we call it out as queso. Queso. The next one is chickpeas. Chickpeas we call it as garbanzos. Garbanzos. The next one is water. Water we call it out as agua. Agua. The next one is pork. Pork we call it out as cerdo. Cerdo. The next one is lamb. Lamb we call it out as cordero. Cordero. The next one is rice. Rice we call it as arroz. Arroz. Next one is garlic shrimp. That we call it out as gambas al ajillo. The next one is croquettes. Croquettes we call it out as croquetas. Croquetas. Okay. The next one is red wine. Red wine we call it out as vino tinto. Vino tinto. The next one is sweets. Sweets we call it out as dulce. The next one is popcorn. Popcorn we call it out as palomitas. Palomitas. Cherry. Cereza. Cereza. Blueberry. Arandano. Arandano. Burger. Hamburguesa. Hamburguesa. Shrimp. Camarones. Camarones. Honey. Miel. Miel. Pasta. Pasta. Paella. 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 Churros. Churros. Salad. Ensaladas. Ensaladas. Banana. Plátano. Plátano. Orange. Naranja. Naranja. Pineapple. Piña. Piña. Pear. Pera. Pera. Coconut. Coco. Coco. Peach. Melocotón. Melocotón. Tomato. Tomate. Tomate. Bread. Pan. Pan. Squid. Calamares. Calamares. Beer. Cerveza. Cerveza. Cookies. Galletas. Galletas. So this is the session I have given you on the food vocabulary. So I'll request you to please watch this session thoroughly and try to repeat these one after one so that you will be able to remember this in your mind. Hope this session seems very fruitful for you guys. I will be soon coming with my next video. Until then, see you soon. Adios.